really, just stop. Here's Ross, the host with today's dose of common sense.
Hey everybody, once again we are back, and this is going to be a quickie. It's not going to be a whole lot of preamble. There was another shooting in Minneapolis by ICE, Homeland Security Investigations, or whoever it is, because it's a mixture of yahoos up there doing their thing. There was just another shooting, and it's complicated. This one's going to be interesting. The guy's obviously deceased, but we're going to go to a screen share and we're going to analyze this video. I'm going to play it for you really slow because there's something that I'm seeing that I don't think anybody else has seen yet. So here we go. We are trying to get as zoomed in as much as I can so you can see it, but there's only so much room I have on my screen share thing. But that's the video. It's the only one I've seen yet. I'm sure there's going to be other angles, but here it goes. I have the sound muted because it's just the guy taking the video yelling and the people around him yelling. But they do recognize when the shots are fired, and they're like, did they just fucking kill that guy, and things like that. So I'm just going to leave the audio off so I can talk through it. But they are grabbing a guy, and they are wrestling him to the ground. If you can see, you can see my cursor. So I'm going to show you what happens here. They wrestle him to the ground, and you have several people wrestling him to the ground. He's putting up a fight, so he is resisting for whatever reason. I don't know if this guy was wanted or if this guy is just a local crazy person. But this guy right here, I'm going to pause it. This officer right here, whoever he is, this guy in the light-colored jacket with the baseball cap on, he does not have a gun in his hand. He does not. So let's go back here, and I will show you. He goes up, and he approaches the little, scrum going on there. And you'll see his gun is still holstered wherever it is. It's not in his hand. And he goes over here, and he starts helping. And you can see between his legs that you'll see him reach down there and grab the guy's leg and move it around. And the guy's still struggling, still flailing around, which, stop doing that. But he's got the guy's leg, and then you see him move around and step a little bit more forward. I don't remember if he steps, actually, but he leans. Yeah, he steps, and then he leans more forward, and he starts fishing around on the ground. And you'll see that here in a second. He starts wrestling around on the ground, and then stop. When you see him come back, when he comes back up, when he stands up from here, watch my cursor, he has a gun in his hand now, and he runs. Why he runs away, I don't know. Maybe the first shot was already fired, but you can see he has a gun in his hand, and he comes around the cars. He starts ducking, and which isn't a bad thing to do, but you can see the gun in his hand. When he runs away, he's holding it in his right hand, and that's it. Now, what we have seen is also this photograph. The gun I see this officer holding does appear to be this gun because the shape of the gun, there is a large optic on the rear end of it, and it's a light-colored gun. You can tell it's not all black and everything. So this does appear to be the firearm that was recovered, but we don't know if that's one of the ICE guy's guns or if it was this guy's gun. So I don't have any other perspectives. I don't have any other angles of this video. I have nothing else. But the one officer came out of there with a gun. It could be any number of things. One of the ICE agents could have lost control of his firearm, and it could have landed on the ground, and this officer picked it up and got out of there so that nobody could grab it. Or this is the subject's gun, which gives us another interesting perspective, because that means we're going to change this to full speed so that we can just see how it played out in real time. You can see, and you know what, I'm going to turn the audio back on. They're wrestling around. They're hitting the guy. The guy is fighting back. He's turtling, basically, is what we call it in jiu-jitsu. He's up on his knees and his elbows. They're trying to get him down. This guy, did you hear that? Okay, did you hear that? I want you to listen for when that first shot happens, okay? Because we see this guy in the light-colored jacket who's going to fish out that gun. He's already got it, and they shot him. If this is the subject's gun, this officer already took it away from him and was leaving the little huddle there of the beatdown. He already had the gun in his hand and was walking away, running actually away, when they shot him. So that is not good. Granted, I understand. There's a chaotic situation. Nobody probably saw this guy pick up the guy's gun. But the one thing that they didn't know, or one thing that they should have been able to see, because there were 6 people holding this guy down, they should have been able to tell that he did not have a gun in his hand because it was laying on the ground, one way or the other, or it was still holstered, and they took it off of him, or whatever it was. At no time, watching this video several times, did I ever see a gun in this guy's hand. And I did not see him reaching for a gun or trying to pull one out. Granted, this is not a great angle. You can't see a whole lot, but this is not good. This one is going to turn out to be a little more kind of, I'm sorry if you're hearing my dog bark, but this one may turn out to be a little more reasonable of a shooting, because this guy, somebody had a gun, and whether the other officers yelled, "He's got a gun," or whatever they did, however that came about, this guy did retrieve a gun, and then they shot him. But the problem is, this guy, if this is the suspect's gun, if this gun right here is the suspect's gun, then they shot him when he was unarmed. And that's not good. They shot this guy after he was already disarmed. So, just another ICE-involved shooting that is not good. It is not good. Don't know if anybody else is going to talk about it, so I wanted to jump on here and point that out, because that was the first thing that I noticed, was that the guy didn't have a gun, and then when he did have a gun, it wasn't his. So some bad things keep happening, and I'm sorry, this is going to turn into another fiasco. It's going to further inflame things in Minneapolis, and it may have been this guy's fault. It may have been this suspect's fault. If he went out there and was acting threatening or whatever, and ICE had to deal with him like he was an armed criminal suspect, and, you know, that's his fault. So don't be fucking stupid when you're going to a place where there's 87 federal agents who are trying to round up some poor Mexicans. Don't run out there and try to fight with them. That's stupid. You're probably going to get shot, just like Ashley Babbitt did after she was told 8 times not to come through that window, but she did anyway. She got shot because that's what happens when someone is threatening to shoot you and you don't listen to them. So don't do that. Stay away from that shit, or go out there, do your peaceful protesting thing, but don't go out there carrying a gun. Don't go out there acting threatening to a bunch of guys who are already trigger happy, obviously, and already stressed out. And it's the only job they have, and they don't want to lose it because they couldn't get on a regular police force, so they had to go to work for CBP, which I know a lot of you guys don't even know that, but that's where all the people who couldn't qualify to get a job as a real police officer on a major city department, that's where they went. They went to the Border Patrol. So that's the way it used to be when I was a youngster. But anyhow, it does not look good. It's not great. It may still turn out to be a justified thing because we don't know where that gun came from. Like I said, the ICE agents and stuff, they have all these tricked out pistols too. So it's very possible that these guys have, tricked out optics and all that stuff on their gun. I've seen a lot of that, but this one doesn't have a light on it. And most of these guys have a white light on their pistol, which is normal for a tactical pistol. Don't listen to what everybody else says. If you have a pistol you're going to be using in the dark, put a light on it. But it's, he's got the SIG optic. I don't know which one, but it looks like to be a fully enclosed red dot. Anyway, we can talk about that some other time. But right now, I wanted everybody to see what I see and explain why I think the way I do right now. So until some better angles come out and maybe some body cam footage or whatever, this is all we have to go on. And what it looks like to me is they disarmed this guy and then shot him. And that's not good. That's not the way it's supposed to work. Anyway, I'm going to put this up real fast. Take care. Be safe. And Jesus Christ.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Really? Just Stop with your host, Ross. Make sure to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so that you never miss a dose of some common sense.